Good morning and grand rising to each of you here on Humanity Healing. Thank you for sharing your Friday mornings or whatever time you get to watch this talk, this Presence of Light talk with Charlie Riverman. And bless you during this full moon and the shifting tides of our lives, really, as we move forward into new forms. And good morning, Tina Joe and Wilfred, and from the Philippines, bless you. And I thank you all for your desire to not only be more powerful in a power sense, but be more powerful as the beings of love and light that you truly are. And I think that's what we're all seeking, is to find that balance between who we are and what we can be, and know that what we have been is no longer valid right now in the field of energy that we're moving into, and that's constantly changing at a highly more rapid pace than we have witnessed in hundreds of years. So with that said, Crest Hill, Illinois. Well, Tina, bless you in Illinois. Janice, you were with us. Thank you. And Terry, faithful Terry, and Dawn, and Anna, and bless you all. Bless you all as you show up here in the sidebar. So today's talk is about momentary patterns of realigning. And when those words came through me this morning, I said, well, this is going to be interesting. As I never know exactly what I'm going to be guided or to speak about or tap into. And I think it comes about because we're in this period of the full moon, and it's a spring of 2021. We've got a lot of things going on. And it was this time last year when we started to get trickles of knowledge of this coronavirus. Although we weren't consciously aware of what it really was or might have been turned out to be. And as we've witnessed in this past year, it has changed our lives. And it has taken many lives as well. And this is, again, as I sat here this morning, about our realigning. Realigning as human beings in a world of energies that is rapidly changing and creating new forms of beingness and new forms of existence for all of us. Before this year, I had no clue what Zoom was. I had knowledge of computers and talking online because I've been doing this for a couple of years, but not at the level I understand now. And what I've witnessed, and we've all witnessed over the past year, is that how we can interconnect with each other through this technology, and it helps us to find people with similar interests, with similar thought patterns, similar desires, for both good and bad. It's not what we would call a miracle of perfect wonder. It also invites those who are not well to remain not well. And again, this is what we're doing. We're realigning all of life here on this planet. So with that said, as I tap into the energy field, there's a word that comes up for me often, and it's radiance. And when I look at the morning light, which fortunately we have this morning, and we've had periods where we haven't had much light. It's been rain or cloudy or cold. And I embrace that light as a powerful energy, not just what we recognize it as for what it is to planet Earth, but what it also does for us. And in these extreme times, we need to find those energy sources that enlighten us, enliven us, bring positive energies into this crucible, if you will, of negative energies, of fear, of imbalance, of power and control and struggle. And we're all feeling that, and we're all moving through it at a rate that is, as I said earlier, unprecedented in our common knowledge. It's not the first time this has happened, though. This has repeatedly happened in the evolution of planet Earth. And we, as the inhabitants of planet Earth, as human beings, we've been through this before. This is not the first time. And many civilizations have been wiped out entirely, and yet we're still here. And this goes to stand for our ability to rise up out of destruction, to rise up out of negativity. How powerful we really are as humans who have the ability to either enhance life or destroy life. The sunny day is really, we feel good. We feel good. And that's because of the energy. It realigns our energy fields and feeds us with that light energy. And in that moment, and the moments thereafter, we come into a better emotional balance. And that's what we're experiencing now, is this imbalance, this 1 minute it's up, 1 minute it's down, 1 minute it's scattered, 1 minute you're depressed, 1 minute you're laughing. And it's a challenge for all of us. Doesn't matter who you are, where you live, how much money you have, what you don't have. We're all going through this energetic process, and that's why I call it an energetic process. I want to take it out of the I, me, you human experience and look at it as energy. And what we're realizing now is who we truly are. And if we continue to focus on negative things and aspects of our history and life, we're going to continue to project them into the future. And it's time now where we take this light and manifest it and step outside or step into the inner circle of who we are, the energy field, the toroidal field of energy that we are. And leave the past out there, the future out there. They don't exist here in this moment. The only time we have any ability to co-create with the energy that we're receiving is right here and right now. So every time you slip into the mind pattern of what happened or what could happen, you're out of balance. I'm going to say that very strongly because it's a very important point right now, is to come back into the center of this toroidal field of energy that we are. And it's this brain that distracts us and sends us over here, sends us over there, sends us up, and let go of that, trying to figure it out. There is no figuring it out. That's all imagination. That is all the mind receiving energy and doing what it does best with it. It creates stories. And as long as we continue to create stories and believe the stories we are saying, the longer we're going to stay away from and overreact to the external electromagnetic influx. I'll say that again. Overreacting to the external electromagnetic influx. Now I see somebody here who's, I'm not reading the comments, but talking about Marxism and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Bringing that into this field here does nothing for anyone. Well, what it does is point out that what most of us do is point the finger at something else and say, that's to blame, and that's to blame, and that's to blame. And the truth is, there is no blame. There's just an alignment of your energy with something. And we are the ones who are the masters of that alignment. Nobody can make you believe anything. If you are in full alignment with who you truly are, as these beautiful, creative, high vibrational frequencies of energy. And that's what this full moon is doing right now with the water within us. It's bringing us back into an alignment with the light of the sun, of the universe, bringing us back into a wholeness, a vision of wholeness, a vision that is not distressful. It's highly energetic, and it can be highly scattered and distorted. But that's when we shift our minds into that higher vibrational frequency of creative flow, that we can now produce a center core that is in balance, that is in harmony, that is filled with peace, with light and love. And in that moment, we begin to recognize that each one of us is peace, light, and love, no matter how distorted they choose to be. And so, this is the reality. You can dwell on what is negative, or you can seek what is positive. On your negativity will keep you in that negative field of energy. It's the law of attraction. That what you think you will attract. And for the person who is concerned about being a refugee and political and social prison and Marxism and all of that, that's what you're going to get. I bless you in that. May you have an abundance of that. May you have so much of that that you come to the point where you realize that you have power over it. And it doesn't mean going to war, doesn't mean hurting anyone. It's all within our hearts. It's all within our hearts, that energetic frequency. And that's what's being shifted right now. It's being shifted by the planetary and star alignments, by the full moon, by the water within Mother Earth. And it's all here to make this experience, this energetic experience, deep and deep and deeper than you can imagine into the energetic structure of who we are. Not just the physical skin and bone, the molecular structure of who we are. All of this, as well as this message, is for each of us to remain as calm as we possibly can. While all of this around us, all of these energetic patterns and processes come back into an alignment and a positive trajectory through the negative and positive fields in balance. Today, I want each of you to honor yourself as more than just flesh and bone. I want you to remain as calm as you possibly can during this realignment, if you will, of our subatomic particles and photonic crystal light. Because this part that we see on the surface of all of that is very limited. Our power lies, and our sovereignty lies within our energetic structure. And for those of you who are getting upset with this John Pitsy, please send him love. Whatever, I'm not reading what he's saying, but I can feel the agitation in the comments. We send him love. If this is all that he can do is bring things to disrupt people, then we see him for who he is. And this is what we are being called to do now, is to see each other for who they are. And they may not say things we like. They may not be friendly. They may want to agitate or to project their thought pattern on each other. And John, I don't know what's going on. To be honest with you, say I'm not disrupting. I think it's pretty cool. I'm sorry you were feeling the hate. I'm just witnessing. I send you love. And this talk session here, Presence of Light, isn't about a lot of things that most people think about. I want you to think about who you are inside. I want you to recognize the peace, the light, and the love that you are. And I want you to express that to the world. Because that's where the change is going to come from. Not the fear, not the control. We know what that does. And we know the whole design of that is to suck the power of who we are out of us and to use it to sustain some false image of who we are. We are amazing beings of peace, light, and love. And our bodies are going through amazing, uncomfortable distortions right now, as well as our minds are going through very uncomfortable distortions. If we look at our ancestors, they understood it very well. And they actually created places where the energies were of a higher gathered vibration in order to dwell in that higher level of energy. And over time, we made choices that said, no, we're going to bury that. We're not going to let people know that they have the power and the freedom from the moment of birth. It's not something you have to earn. It's not something you have to be privileged to have. Each one of us are born sovereign beings. And each one of us have co-created civilizations over time that were amazing. And over time, we changed the stories and we hid the stories. And the temples and the communities are buried under the dirt. And we're discovering them now. And nobody wants to release the information that they're finding because it will change the whole future of the structure we are now in and return it to what I call the original blueprint. We can't stop returning to the original blueprint because it's part of the grand design to fall out of sync and come back into sync, and fall out of sync and come back into sync. It's like stretching the circle into an oval and then coming back, expanding and contracting. Many ways we can look at this, and each one of us are doing that right now. Expanding and contracting. And it's not comfortable. It's not pleasant many times. And we may feel that we're powerless, and we may feel that there are organizations and people, etc., who are doing this to us. But nothing works if you don't accept it And you have that power to not accept it. And I say that without rising in anger, without rising in pain, without rising in wanting to attack. Just rising within yourself, coming to know who you are as this higher energetic being. What is it? What it is beyond this thinking? Because it's here where the problem is. This is the field of interference, and this is where all of the energies that we receive is affecting the most. And from there, it moves into our cellular structure, into our physicality, and creates illness, disease, distortion, insanity, pain, suffering. And the solution to all of this is the frequency of love. Coming back to love. We use it in many trite ways. Our understanding of love has been twisted and manipulated to being a Valentine's card or a meme. The energy of love, our ancestors understood very well. And it wasn't anything about what we're doing right now. It was about respect and community. It was about witnessing ourselves and each other and wanting to help each other in order to help ourselves, because we knew that when we were out of balance, we were creating imbalance somewhere else. Come back, come home, come back into this realignment. Dive deeper into your inner waters and trust that what we become aware of is not here to destroy us. It's here to strengthen our immunity to future collective reconstruction. We are reconstructing all of civilization, all of humanity, and each one of you has an important part to play in it. Even the ones who create disruption. Even if it's misunderstood. Because every one of us is a mirror of each other. And what we don't like, and what we see in each other that we don't like, lives right here within us. And it's not our job to change them. It's our responsibility to change ourselves. I'm going to read a quote here from Shirley Marshall, PhD. It was a quote I found that was really kind of relevant to this. When we live in the love vibration, our energy resonates at a high frequency. And we express the God qualities of compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, respect, generosity, joy, and peace. All that inspires, empowers, and enhances life. The love vibration lifts us to a higher state of consciousness and frees us of the thoughts, feelings, and actions that minimize and victimize us. We have the power within us to focus on that through love, through sharing our love. So even if we're homeless, even if we're refugees, even if we've been molested or physically beaten or mentally trashed, I ask every one of us to stop the fear. Stop the fear of it. And stop focusing on the lack of what we have in reflection to others around us. I want you to become the brilliant vortices of love and light that each of you are. Beyond and above all of this, I'm here to tell you you can do it. And every time we take one step forward, it sometimes feels like we get slapped back 3. We get to 3. It's that one step forward into the truth of who you are. And only you will know what that truth is. It's not for everybody else to discuss. It's not for everybody else to judge. Because that's what we've done. We picked up all their energies and all their vibrations. And we keep ourselves down. Is there oppression in the world? Yes. Is there powers that are in control? Yes. But I'm going to tell you the worst ones aren't outside of you. They're right here. Right here. Come back. Come back to here. Your heart. Come back to the heart. You are brilliant vortices of love and light. And during these very challenging moments of our existence, with this coronavirus that's ending, this process of our greater evolutionary procession, take those momentary patterns of realignment. Focus on those tiny moments. Witness the power and strength that you have within you. At your disposal 24/7. Not to fight. Not to overcome. But just to be who you truly are. As I read the sidelines later, I'll come to a better understanding of what the conversation was there today. But I know that this is part of this grander energy frequency that's happening right now during this full moon. During this entering into almost a year's time of the beginning of the spread of the coronavirus. which in many ways has been and still is a great messenger. And some words came through me yesterday during the meditation as we were gathered together to speak with the coronavirus and the reset that we're going through as a result of that. And the message is this: reset is enough. Release, clean, clear, reset. Into the challenge of change we dive and become light and water, merging into oneness. We are welcomed home. The vibrational frequency is overwhelming at first, until we let go of all of our grasping and desires. We become one light, all that is. Everything is now awaiting your intimate connection. Let us now focus on the healing of humanity. From the collective distortion that has been collectively created over centuries, returning all of the forms of its manifestations to Source for their dispersion and recalibration. Leave nothing unattended, for the trauma has entered the molecular level, and its purpose is no longer needed for the reset of our third dimensional experience. It is done. Say it is so from your hearts. I leave you with that thought. It is done. Say it is so from your hearts. Because in that moment, you're aligning all of the energies right here. And when you live from here, rather than from here, everything is released, becomes clean and clear, and we reset. We reset our energy fields into the divine alignment for which it was originally created. Bless you all. Thank you all. I love you all. I'm looking forward to reading your comments in the sidelines. And no matter whether they're negative or we would assume they're negative or positive, they're all purposeful. They're all purposeful. May we learn something from each other about who we are, because we are all mirrors of each other. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. No matter what, we are one. May you have a good week. May the energies and the transmission of this experience plant seeds within your consciousness. And may you trust yourself. Trust the power that you truly have. Believe in it. Trust in it. And follow it. Because the energy doesn't think. The energy is pure. The sun doesn't think. The moon doesn't think. The water doesn't think. The air we breathe doesn't think. It doesn't need to. Because it knows exactly what its purpose is. May your purpose be revealed to you. And until next Friday morning, I love you and thank you. And give your children hugs. Because what we're doing right now isn't so much about us. We are preparing the way for the future generations through our hearts. Love you. Bless you. Thank you. Have a great week.